Hey guys, how's it going? I'm making this video to expose John Macarthur. If you guys have been enjoying the videos, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. God bless. So, John Macarthur is the worst Pharisee alive, and he teaches blatant works salvation. This man is idolized and loved by Christianity, and Luke 6:26 says, "Woe to you when all men speak well of you, for so did their fathers of the false prophets." I went to a Bible study at a Baptist church, and the pastor loved John Macarthur. He even gave me a Macarthur study Bible. This guy was a Pharisee, and I tried to tell him some important biblical truths, but he just brushed me off, just like how John Macarthur does. This goat has led millions of people to hell with his false works gospel. Galatians 1:9 reads, "As we said before, so say I now again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed."
And then in verse 23, in response to their confession, the Lord makes his confession, and then will I declare to them, I never knew you. Because salvation doesn't come to those who only profess it, who only speak of it. It's not the sayers who are saved, it is the doers.
So John Macarthur said it's not the sayers who are saved, it's the doers. That's clear as day work salvation, and if you can't see it, you're blind. Doing things is works. Anything we do is works. So why weren't these people saved in Matthew 7? Look at verse 22. It says, "Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works?" These people were adding works to their salvation. Adding works to the gospel message of salvation cancels out grace. These people were never born again because they never believed in Jesus Christ to give them eternal life. They added their works. This bastard John Macarthur thinks his filthy, degenerate rags play a part in his salvation, and he's unsaved. John 6:28-29. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. John 11:25-26. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? You have to believe in Jesus Christ to give you eternal life, him alone. If you add your works to that, you're not going to get saved, and that cancels out God's grace in salvation. Titus 3:5 reads, Not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us. John Macarthur teaches works salvation. All he does is harp on people's works, condemn people, accuse the brethren. This man is a wicked Pharisee, and he's not of God. He's sent by Satan.
That these people are not known to the Lord because they are doers of lawlessness. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. Professing Christ and living a sinful life will expose you one day as a hypocrite. The world is full of people who call Jesus Lord, who say it with emotion and passion, Lord, Lord, and yet never, ever do they turn from their sin and submit to that lordship. Never do they obey the will of the Father who is in heaven.
So John Macarthur said they're called workers of iniquity because they still had sin in their life. That's not true. They're called workers of iniquity because they were never born again. Once we're saved, we're declared righteous by God. He said they never turned from sin, obeyed, submitted to lordship. These are all works. If a person says you need works to be saved, it's a false gospel. John Macarthur is preaching clear as day, blatant works salvation, and if you can't see it, you're just blind to the truth. He says they weren't saved because they sin. That's hypocrisy because he still sins. You don't know what this man does behind closed doors. Jesus said the Pharisees appear righteous on the outside. They're like whitewashed tombs. If a person says You need to stop sinning to be saved. That's hypocrisy because they still sin. As Ecclesiastes 7:20 reads, "For there is not a just man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not." Romans 3:10-12, "As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth, there is none that seeketh after God." John Macarthur is a hypocrite because he says that he stopped sinning, and you don't know what he does behind closed doors. The Pharisees make the outside of the cup clean, but inward they are full of extortion and excess. John Macarthur is a millionaire. This guy is filthy rich, and he hasn't submitted to the lordship of Christ, given all his money to the poor. He hasn't obeyed. He hasn't turned from his sin. He's a hypocrite, and he's a wicked bastard. 1 John 1:8 reads, "If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us." The truth is not in John Macarthur. He's an unbeliever, he trusts in his works, and he's a goat. It'll be terrifying when John Macarthur stands before the Lord on Judgment Day with the millions of people he's led to hell with his false works salvation gospel. This is the gospel. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life. Does it say to do works there? Obey, submit to his lordship? No, that's all stuff that he's added because he wants to teach a false gospel to shut up the kingdom of heaven, and he's sending people to hell. This man is not a son of God. He's a bastard. Let no man deceive you. The only way to heaven is by believing in Jesus Christ and him alone. God bless.